How's it going, YouTube? It's Lucas here from TBD205 channel, and today I have a video on this. Well, you can probably tell by that this isn't probably your average everyday slash, now is it? This is mini, even though it says nowhere on this that it's a 16 scale slash. So, I got this thing a while ago because, well, I wanted to, and I thought it was kind of adorable for what it was. And well, I guess I should probably go over what it is first, but this is a 4-wheel drive 1/16 scale slash based on the Mini Revo platform, which I want to say has been out for a while, but I have no idea because Traxxas won't tell me. I mean, they probably will, I just haven't messed with them. But little tiny truck, takes little tiny batteries, little tiny servo used to steer, little tiny tires, with a little tiny truck. Except for the motor that you can see is brushed, and also a 10 scale Titan 12 turn motor. Now, I kind of have some issues with that, as I'll probably get on to later. But for now, I like this truck because I got it a while ago compared to the brushed or the brushless Mini E-Revos and whatever, which I know Mini E-Revos come in brushed and brushless. These, I have found, like, the Mini E-Revos, the brushless ones, I found to just obliterate diffs every single time I run it. They're far too powerful for what they are. They flip over really easy for some reason, and yeah, whatever. I mean, granted, this thing flips over even more considering it's skinnier, but yeah, which brings me to the motor of it's gigantic. I know it moves around a lot during this, but it is a huge motor for the size of the vehicle, which also gives it plenty of power for what it needs. This thing breaks traction very easily, especially with really hard tires. And even, I'm sure, on the NIM, it does pretty well. Which you can actually run this on the NIM that it comes with, on like the brushless ones, which you really shouldn't, but whatever. So, I don't really know where I'm going with this, but this thing takes like 2S. I think you can go up to 3S. I have not tried that because I haven't found a battery that fits. But it takes 2S as what I usually run it on, and it works fine. I haven't had any issues with it aside from drowning it and seizing a motor. And the bearings go bad eventually, and that's about it. And, well, I guess the shocks. The shocks are tiny, and also inboard, because it's based off of a Mini Revo, which has that anyway. Yeah, these shocks are really bad. You have to rebuild them almost every time you want to run it, because they just end up doing this and leaking oil and getting nasty. It's not really fun, but bearings are really easy to do because there's only like 4 of them, unless if you want to tear apart the diffs and do the ones in the outdrives. But once you do bearings, and once you don't abuse the crap out of this thing, which it will take because it is miraculously, well, not, you know, it's pretty durable for what it is, considering, like, I mean, the A-arms are thinner than the Mini E-Revos, which means they have less leverage when you hit something, and then it has thinner tires, so your differential doesn't go out as bad, doesn't really catch traction, so that's not an issue. There's so many things that this does better than, like, other miniature vehicles. Well, I guess I wouldn't say that. Other than the, you know, it does better than the Mini Rios, in my opinion. Because I've had 2 of them, and one of them brand new, and that one brand new one just kept annihilating differentials. Or not differentials, but the ring gear and painting gear on the differentials, which I never could figure out. And also, a nice benefit of having thinner tires and less weight and stuff to steer is you can use a stock servo, and you don't have to worry about completely blowing it up. So that's nice. because 16th scale E-Revos, I have pretty much always had that issue because their tires are outside of the body, and then they're, it's a monster truck. You want to bash it around a little bit harder, and you do, and you break a servo. And even those Savox ones aren't the greatest. So I've used this stock servo in there since I got it. Pretty much it was brand new when I got it. I actually traded in Mini Revo for it, and boy, I kind of feel bad for the guy that has it now, because that thing, that was the brand new one, but yeah. So pretty much stock ESC, stock motor, although I love to find something that's not this big and probably get something like, I don't want to go brushless, but I want to get a smaller, lighter motor, because trying to drive this on any sort of place that has traction, it flips over a lot, which, I mean, it's the size, it's really small. I would bring a vehicle to compare sizes with, but I don't have necessarily a stock Slash. So, yeah, I guess that's, unless if I think of anything else, that's about it. I mean, the body kind of protects it, protects the tires from being sheared off by anything, because that's why short course trucks are, generally speaking, more durable than, or people say they are, is that, the body takes most of the brunt, because it does. I mean, it's huge, small in this case, but yeah. And I kind of prefer this a lot more than the full-size 4x4 Slashes, which my cousin has one and has not had the greatest experience with it, keeping spur gears or drive shafts or really anything, or motors even. So, yeah, this thing's more expensive than a regular two-wheel drive Slash without batteries or a controller or some configuration. You can get it cheaper than this, because I looked on Traxxas' website and somehow this went up from $180 to $209. I understand what's going on, but really. So you can get cheaper two-wheel drive, bigger Slashes, but the problem is that they're bigger and two-wheel drive, in the cases of snow and stuff, doesn't really get traction all that well unless you have sand paddles. And this thing is, I would say tiny, but like, it's it's a decent size smaller. So you can bring this a lot more places and have a lot more fun with it, because you don't have to worry about carrying around a big Slash. And most of the time, like, carpet racing tracks don't really allow four-wheel drive Slashes because they're not really light enough to do this, but these things are, because they're half the size, and just about. So yeah, and I mainly run this on dirt and carpet and, indoor carpet racing tracks, not just carpet in here, but carpet indoors does work pretty well, and dirt and snow and other things, and it works pretty well. Like, even when it doesn't have any traction at all, it still moves forward. So, all around, I think I like it. It's a really durable truck. I would recommend it for various reasons. I mean, parts are smaller, but I mean, you don't have to worry about getting nearly as expensive things as you would a full-size E-Revo or Slash, which, I mean, isn't particularly expensive for a full-size Slash, but full-size E-Revo is really expensive for what it is. So yeah, I have no idea if this is comparable to the Traxxas vehicles or the ECX Torment 16 scale, because I have had neither and I don't particularly care. So, like, that's up to looking at a bunch of reviews and stuff, and I have no idea, because I don't really research these videos. I just go off of what I have sitting in front of me. which is a 16 scale slash. So that's about it probably for this video. It's all over the place, doesn't make sense, whatever. It's pretty much my thoughts of the vehicle and why I like it. So yeah, Lucas out. Bye YouTube.